My name is Sirima. I'm 74 years old, and I spent most of my life bleeding, not from my body, from my mind, losing something so precious, so essential, so irreplaceable, that by the time I realized what was happening, I had almost nothing left. Mental energy. The invisible fuel behind every thought you think, every decision you make, every emotion you feel, every connection you build. I was hemorrhaging it daily through holes I didn't know existed, through habits so normal they were invisible, through patterns so deeply woven into my life that I thought they were just living, and I didn't understand why I was always exhausted, why I couldn't think clearly, why simple decisions felt impossible, why I felt empty when my life was full. I blamed age, I blamed stress, I blamed everything except the truth. The truth was that I was pouring my mental energy into 10 invisible drains every single day. And tonight I want to show you exactly where those drains are, because what you can't see, you can't fix. But once you see it, everything changes. But first, I need you to understand something that almost nobody realizes. Mental energy is not unlimited. It doesn't regenerate automatically just because you slept. It's not like breathing, where the next breath comes whether you think about it or not. Mental energy is more like water in a well. Deep, yes, but finite. And every thought, every worry, every decision, every interaction draws from that well. When the well runs dry, you don't just feel tired, you feel hollow, you feel foggy, you feel like a stranger in your own mind. And no amount of coffee or motivation or willpower can refill a dry well. Only protection can. Only stopping the leaks can. Only learning where your energy goes can save what you have left. The first drain is the one nobody talks about because everyone does it. You make hundreds of unnecessary decisions every day. What to wear, what to eat, how to respond to a text, whether to go left or right. Each decision, no matter how small, costs mental energy. And by mid-afternoon, after hundreds of tiny withdrawals, your account is empty. You have nothing left for the decisions that actually matter: your health, your relationships, your future. The solution is radical simplification. Create routines for the things that don't matter, so your energy is preserved for the things that do. This isn't boring, this is survival. The second drain has become so normalized that questioning it feels almost rebellious. You consume information you will never use: news, social media, articles, videos, opinions of strangers about things that don't affect you. Every piece of information your mind receives must be processed, evaluated, stored, or discarded. And this processing costs energy, enormous amounts of energy, for content that adds nothing to your life, nothing to your peace, nothing to your growth. You're paying full price for things with zero value. If something in this is resonating, if you're starting to see your own patterns, stay with me, because the next 8 drains go even deeper, and recognizing them might be the most important thing you do this year. The 3rd drain is one I carried for decades without knowing it was a drain at all. You replay past events in your mind, conversations, arguments, moments of embarrassment or hurt. Your mind goes back to them uninvited and replays them as if they're happening right now. And your nervous system can't tell the difference between a real event and a vividly imagined one. So every replay costs the same energy as living through it again. You're paying today's energy for yesterday's events. Events you can't change, can't undo, can't improve by thinking about them for the 1000th time. The 4th drain is worry, specifically worrying about things you cannot control. The weather, the economy, other people's opinions, what might happen next month. Your mind churns through these scenarios endlessly, analyzing, predicting, preparing, and none of it changes anything. The weather doesn't improve because you worried. People don't change their minds because you lost sleep. Worry is the most expensive thing that produces absolutely nothing. The 5th drain cuts deep because it involves your own integrity. You say yes when everything inside you screams no. Every false yes costs double. The energy of doing what you don't want to do, plus the energy of the resentment that builds afterward, of the self-criticism for not standing up for yourself, of the anger at the person who asked, even though you're the one who agreed. Learning to say no without guilt isn't selfish. It's the most fundamental form of energy protection that exists. The 6th drain operates in the background constantly. Unfinished tasks, open loops, things you started but didn't complete, things on your list that have been there for weeks. Each one takes mental energy to maintain. Like apps running in the background on your phone, draining the battery even when you're not using them. Your mind keeps track of every open loop, keeps reminding you, keeps nudging, and the cumulative drain is massive. The 7th drain is one that might surprise you. You try to manage other people's emotions. You monitor how everyone around you feels. You adjust your behavior to keep them happy. You take responsibility for their moods, their reactions, their inner states. And this constant emotional monitoring is one of the most exhausting things a human being can do. Because you can't actually control how other people feel. And trying to control the uncontrollable is perhaps the greatest waste of energy there is. The 8th drain involves relationships themselves. You maintain connections that cost more than they give. People who drain you, who criticize constantly, who bring chaos into your space. You keep these relationships out of loyalty, out of guilt, out of history. But every interaction with someone who depletes you is a withdrawal you can't afford. Being selective about where you invest your social energy isn't cold, it's wise. The 9th drain is perfectionism, the relentless pursuit of flawlessness in everything you do, the constant revising, the inability to call something finished, the belief that good enough is never enough. The mental cost of perfectionism is staggering because perfection doesn't exist. You're spending unlimited energy chasing something that can never be caught. Learning to recognize when something is good enough is not lowering standards. It's protecting the energy needed for things that truly matter. The 10th drain is the most fundamental. You never give your mind actual rest. Not sleep, not entertainment, actual rest. Silence, stillness, nothing being consumed, nothing being processed, nothing being planned. When was the last time your mind truly rested? Most people go from sleeping to consuming to working to consuming to sleeping. The mind never gets a genuine break, never gets to replenish fully. And then they wonder why they're running on empty. You don't have to fix all 10 tonight. You don't have to be perfect about this. Start with one. The one that hit hardest, the one that made you uncomfortable because you recognized it immediately. Plug that one leak and notice what happens. Notice how much energy returns from just one change. Before we part, I want to know something. Which of these 10 drains has been emptying you the most? Where are you listening from tonight? And what would become possible if you stopped that one leak? Not all of them, just one. What would change? My name is Sirima. I live in a small temple surrounded by trees that never waste their energy on leaves they don't need, that never grow toward light that isn't there. They direct everything toward what matters, and they have more than enough because they protect what they have. You don't need more energy. You need to stop losing the energy you already have. And now that you can see where it's going, you can't unsee it. That awareness will follow you tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after that, until you decide to do something about it. And that decision might be the most important one you ever make.